Hello, guys. Okay, so I had a video request to talk about the law of gender, male, female, masculine, and feminine. So I'm going to talk about it in a certain way that everyone can understand it instead of going all, off and, into quantum physics. Let's talk about it on a 3D basis so that we can understand it first. Hey, y'all. So, masculine energy is going to be attracted to feminine energy no matter what. Okay. Um, because it's just like the batteries, the negative and the positive will attract. It's like the plug and the outlet, they go together to create. Okay. So, the reason why a lot of women who appear, act, and seem masculine are treated worse by society is because they're repelling masculine energy away from them. Okay. And I've talked about this before on my other channel, but if you're pushing masculine energy away from you because you are too masculine as a woman, then no, I'm on the right channel, believe me, because I'm trying to explain this so people can understand it correctly. We're talking about the law of gender. It's one of the universal laws. Okay. So being feminine and being masculine creates a whole different paradigm within a relationship, within magic, within alchemy. Okay. Within alchemy. That's why in every alchemy book, you'll see the man and the woman merged. You'll see a hermaphrodite, or you'll see a man and a woman always together because of the balance. It is the balance. Okay. So if the woman is more like a man, she's not going to be able to attract a masculine man. So by law of gender, she's going to attract a more feminine man. Okay. And I don't mean gay, I mean with more feminine qualities. Okay. Such as being more emotional, such as being more submissive, such as being, more intuitive. So she's going to attract that type of man. Okay. So be very careful on what you choose to be, because you're going to attract your opposite in a partner. Like, if you're masculine, you're going to attract a feminine partner. If you're feminine, you will attract a masculine partner. Okay. So if you're looking for a masculine male partner, then you cannot be a masculine male, a female. You can't be a masculine female. You know what I'm saying? So please consider the law of gender when you're dating, when you're choosing to marry, when you're giving out or discussing how things are going to be in your household or in your marriage or in your relationship. Okay. Gender lines are not supposed to be blurred. Okay. I know some of y'all don't believe this because you've been a little brainwashed, but gender lines are not supposed to be blurred. Okay. That's why on every battery, which is energy, remember, we're all energy. We're made up of protons, electrons, and neutrons. Okay. So, what you need to understand is that when something is more positive in energy, it repels other positive energy. And I'm not talking about good, I'm talking about actual protons. Okay. So, that is what we're talking about. So, if you're very masculine in nature as a woman, loud, take charge, dominating, competitive, masculine in appearance. Um, the list goes on. You're not going to attract that type of man to you. Okay. So, in order to be balanced mentally, spiritually, and physically, you're going to have your mm, complement. I'll say your complement. So that's why you're going to attract certain type of men or certain type of women. As a man, if you're very passive, if you don't speak up, if you're not very competitive, that's the type of woman you are going to attract. A more masculine woman, okay? Because you need that balance. Now, a lot of people don't like this because they want their cake and eat it too, so to say. Well, I want to be this way and I want a masculine man. You may be able to pull that off for a little while, but eventually, you know, nature will take its course. And that man who really doesn't want a masculine woman will seek a more feminine woman. Or that woman who has a feminine man may start to seek a more masculine man. So you have to understand that you're going to attract or repel depending on how you're vibrating. Okay. So just keep that in mind when you get dressed, when you talk, when you speak, how you act, when you walk. All of those things are energetic, and all of those things signal to the opposite. Okay. So you're going to attract the opposite depending on how you're vibrating, masculine or feminine. hmm And the thing that's going on right now in the news with all this women issue and men and women issues, it's all a trick to get women to vote. It's all a trick to get women emotional, upset, and angry because our emotion and our anger is more powerful. There hell hath no fury like a woman scorned. So you have to also keep that in mind, okay? Um, the person in the news right now that's being um, looked down upon reminds us a lot of someone else, okay? So it's all a practice round for the presidential elections and how they want to get women riled up and upset and voting and continuing to feed into a system that really doesn't really care. As long as it seems important to you, it will always have power. Okay. So as long as you feel like you have some power in a system, you will continue to support it. And I won't support it. So no matter what they put on the news, no matter how emotional they get you, no matter how good the actors and actresses are, I'm not voting ever again because that means I'm feeding into that reality that I don't even agree with. So that's why, I mean, I watch it just to laugh and see, what's actually going on. But the whole situation is not really funny. I mean, because that happens to everyone. But I'm not going to vote just because. I mean, why are they choosing to do something about it right now? Why didn't they do nothing about it a long time ago? Mhm. Okay. So this is not the wrong channel. Just listen. Okay. Just listen. I'm doing this on this channel for certain reasons. So most women are pulled in emotionally to anything. So what are they going to do? They're going to take the most controversial and most abundant thing that happens among most women, and put it out on the forefront and just talk about it, talk about it, talk about it. Because November's coming up, 2020 is coming up, all this stuff is coming up. They want to get you registered to vote. They want to get you out there doing all this extra stuff, paying attention to politics, A, B, C, and D. They might even give you a woman president. But the whole point is you're still feeding a system that you don't even actually want. Systems that make your choices for you, whether what to do with your own bodies. Okay. So no thanks. Y'all can keep it. And you don't have to have anarchy, but you also need to have more choices than what they give you. Vote for this or this. Okay, what about everything else that I agree with that's not on this paper? Or not on this computer screen. What about all the other choices that I obviously have that you don't control? What about them choices? So I don't feed into any of the politics or the government simply because they only give you a few choices, and I need more than a couple choices. Okay? You should see my closet. Um I I call it media mayhem. Exactly. You already know that those people are chosen. Okay? You already know that those people are chosen by how they look, how they talk, how they speak, da da da. Okay. Um, the lady had to be a doctor so that she could be credible. Okay, give her the highest degree, yes, to make her credible. You have to make a woman a doctor to even be credible, and she still got death threats. She couldn't just be a plain, ordinary anybody. She got to be a doctor. Okay, that should tell you something right there that everything is off balanced. Um, I make my male relatives and friends take out the trash. Right. So, and it also is triggering the insensitivity of men around women, um, and their protection, you know, and their vulnerability, and how women are left unprotected every day. And men don't see that. And sometimes women have to point it out, or they're forced or brainwashed into thinking, oh, well, they don't need men for protection. But um, the whole point of that is not that I'm weaker, but it's like if you are bigger and stronger by nature, just like a parent is larger and stronger than their child, that's a given. That's straight up a given, you know? Your child is not supposed to fend for itself. You can't say, oh, I'm sorry that happened to you, but I'm not responsible for you. No, you're the adult, you're bigger, you're stronger, you protect. You're the man. You're supposed to be bigger, stronger to protect, not to take advantage of. You see, that's the same thing as a pedophile to a child, as a man who takes advantage of a woman. It's the same thing because you're doing the same thing. So, are me and James separated? No, James is downstairs, sleep on the couch, child. James ain't going nowhere. Believe. So, what I'm trying to say is always keep this in your mind. The universe works with the law of gender. Okay. The universe works with the law of gender. If you're out of universal balance, your life's out of balance. If you're out of, uh, if you're thinking the wrong way, your life is going to be the wrong way. Okay. Um, it is very hard, but that's what everything is actually doing, is showing how, if you have a daughter, how she can be violated just by going to a social event. It's showing men how women need protection. It's also showing women how men can take advantage if they are not of the right mindset. Okay. Um, yeah, role playing, of course. We already know that. I already said all that in the beginning. So that's why it's important for women to act like women and for men to act like men so they don't get confused on how to be around each other. Now, I'm talking about any masculine or feminine aspect. So if you're gay, if you're a lesbian, if you're trans, you have almost a feminine or a masculine aspect of self. So just go with that. Okay. Um, so right. If women don't feel protected by the men they're with, then what happens? They don't respect them, they don't trust them. They will never and treat them like they want to be treated. Okay. And Kim K and Kanye are equal. He still tries to control her, but act like a kid. Yeah, but you don't know what happens behind closed doors. Like I saw this video the other day. A fashion company, went to Kim and asked her to post about their fashion line, and they were going to pay her $1 million. So she said, "Well, I need to talk to my husband first and see how he feels about it." And he said, "Well, I don't want you to do it." So she's like, "Okay." And then, a couple days later, he sent her a check for $1 million and a share of his company, Yeezy, his clothing company, and gave her a share in his company plus $1 million for turning it down. You know, he does not control her. She asked if how he would feel about it, and because that company kind of knocks off some of his clothing style, they copy it. So he didn't, he said, "Well, I don't think that's good." So, but instead of saying, "Well, pass it up and pass the $1 million up," he gave it to her. So being feminine and considerate and not emasculating and overpowering the masculine will bring you reward. Okay. Because they feel right. They feel that they can actually give you that and more, or they feel like you don't need to go out and do all that. I got you. Plus, you know, um, mhm. And even if you're not married and you're just dating, if you're take charge type female, you try to reach for the bill and the check every time, sooner or later that man's gonna stop reaching for it. And there's nothing he can kind of do to impress you. So that magnetism between masculine and feminine is gone. He can't impress you. He can't do anything for you. You won't let him. So he's going to go find someone who will let him pay. So he can feel masculine instead of feminine. So a lot of you ladies have, and a lot of guys have actually been, I'll say, neutralized by the media, by society standards. You've been neutralized, you've been neutered or spaded. And you've been neutered or spaded, gender wise, energetically. That's why, yeah. So you gotta use universal law to understand this. Okay. hmm hmm And women are part of it too because they've been brainwashed. They've been brainwashed to think that they can do everything. And it's true, we can do everything, but we don't have to, you know? Um, I can rig an appliance if I had the right tools and rearrange some wires and risk my life, getting electrocuted to make it work off of one battery. But that doesn't mean that's how it's supposed to work. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. Now, whether no matter their net worth, a man wants to feel masculine. Okay, it just depends on your standards as a woman on what you'll accept and what you won't. That's up to y'all. Because I saw a question up there. Hmm. How to belly dance has connected you back to your feminine nature. Good. So doing things that do connect you to your feminine nature are going to be helpful because it's going to remind you you're not a man. So, you know, it's going to remind you you're more valuable, that you're attractive, that men find you spellbinding, alluring. It's almost as if they cannot resist. Okay. And, and you'll remember that. Right. So, doing all the extra things will help remind him as well as you that you are a feminine aspect of the universe. Okay. You're if by a woman not being feminine in nature to attract the masculine, it's like you're in if you're in a cell and you have electrons, neutrons, and protons. That's like all the electrons trying to be protons. You're going to neutralize yourself out of existence. Okay. So you're going to be all neutrons and inactive and unable to accomplish anything. Hmm. And you have to be smart. We're in the age of information now. We're in the age of technology now. We're in the age of consciousness now. We are able to plan our lives now. There are lots of things that will help you plan your life, prevent certain things from happening, plan when things should happen, all of this. Take it and use it. Okay? Do not depend, yeah, do not depend on chance or luck. Depend on cause and effect. Depend on you being the cause in order to get the type of effect that you choose and want. And that is what is going to help you the most. Feminine without appearing submissive. Okay. Submissive basically means trust. Okay. If I let my man run the show, if I let him make the decision, it's because I trust his brain to not waste all the money and have us broke. Submission means I trust him to make sure that everything is taken care of. It doesn't mean that I'm going to bow down and be a slave. Okay. That's not what it means. Y'all are using it in the term of um, master and slave, sadomasochism. Y'all are using it in the base animalistic way. If you're of higher consciousness, submission just means allowing someone else to make decisions and that you trust them so that you don't have to. Okay. When your man is well, y'all are crazy. Yeah. Just like a child submits to a parent. What type of children? Hey, thank you, Crystal. She gave me the 555 today. So we need to know this balance is key, right? Correct. So when you have a parent and a child, okay, You say a child is submissive to the parent, right? Why? Why is a child submissive to the parent if it's a good parent? The first reason is what? Love. The second reason is what? Trust. The third reason is what? Reward. The absolute last reason, which should always be the last reason, is punishment or effect that they don't want. So if you're loving the true correct way, submission does not mean doing what somebody says to do unless you have all those three things and you are in agreement with it and it is of your moral standing, okay, and of your own free will. So anytime you hear that word being misused, please correct those people. Thank you. Um, Correct them, please. And that is correct. And a lot of any man I get will already be built up, right? Okay. So, I mean, if we go back to ancient times, let's go back to the ancient times. Let's go back to the source of information that we have on this planet that was given to us a long time ago. A pharaoh, a king, a queen, whatever, right? They were already established. They're already established. And women were able to have the same things as men. Okay. They were able to have the same thing, but they weren't treated as men. They weren't masculine. Okay. You would always see the man and the woman. They would always be side by side. They were, you could tell who the woman was, you know. Um, you helped me to show my ex the door. Thank you, Ada, for the donation. So that's what is important. You can have just as much, you can do just as much, but it's your appearance and how you act and how you treat the other person. Do you treat them masculine and do you act feminine? And they made sure to make sure you knew who was masculine and who was feminine in the ancient drawings, you know. hmm I mean, look at all the exquisite, fine, beautiful jewelry and gold and things that they bestowed upon their women. Okay. All the fine things she had, how she lived in luxury. He didn't have her out there, doing stuff. And he wasn't out there either because he was established. They had other people to do that. So even if people are working, they still recognize that the woman is not the man. They still recognize that she is more fragile. And so they tend to treat her that way. Okay. Just like you recognize a child is more fragile and you treat them that way. Okay. So, and a lot of times men say, "Well, I don't want a child, or why do you get to do all of this, and why do you have all these advantages, and are you a child?" No, but I am more fragile than a man. I am not a child. A child is more fragile than me, but as a woman, I am more fragile than a man. So, I am next in line to the child. So, observe that. You know, observe it. And it doesn't help them observe it when you're acting masculine. Okay. You always need help. Sure, I used to be a prostitute before my boyfriend knew me, and he is my provider, but I need more money. I'm a student full time, and he's 45 and I'm 24. How can I save money to level up when he's kind of broke? Go get you a 55-year-old. Okay. You'll have 10 years worth of more money. Okay. And go to the nice side of town and meet him. There you go. Um, hey, I gotta keep it real. Ugly women act more masculine because that's how they're treated. Now, if you don't have the best looks, do what the drag queens do. Do what the trans um, women do. Go get you a bunch of makeup and a bunch of wigs and make yourself look feminine. Okay? They had wigs in the ancient Egyptian days. There are wigs on display in the Museum of Alexandria. Okay? There are makeup bottles on display in Alexandria Museum. There is jewelry on display. Go look. I promise you. The first people to wear wigs were the ancient Egyptians. So that you could see the difference, so that they could accentuate their femininity. Um, I was trying to find some photos. I might have deleted them, but I will look. So people have really been taken away from original um, ancient knowledge, even though they study it daily or read about it or agree with it. There are certain aspects that they overlook. So I'm just putting these aspects back, you know, in the forefront, because people are doing just like they do in religion when they choose to see certain parts of the Bible and choose to ignore the other parts. Okay. Now you don't have to start looking like a drag queen, but you can look a little more. Women can look a little bit more feminine. You know what I mean? I'm just saying, if a grown burly man can look like a woman, there's no such thing as an ugly woman. That's all I'm saying. If you want to get treated a different way, and you want to be treated, um, or you want to attract masculine men, and you want to be treated better, and the answer is being more feminine. Whatever that means to you, whether it's how you speak, walk, talk, dress, look, whatever. You choose how you can be more feminine. I'm not going to tell you, not on this channel anyway. Um, so once you choose the feminine, how to, acting feminine, you'll see that the treatment will change and how you're treated in public, by family members and everything. And you will soften. You will be less masculine. You will attract more masculine men to you, or at least um, be recognized as feminine to them. Okay, because let's face it, beauty is associated with being feminine. So you must, yeah, that's why it was so important in ancient Egypt. That's why it's very important, because it is what attracts. It is nature, it is science, it is electricity. You know, if you have if you have a charger and the plug's all bent backwards because it's been banged up and it doesn't want to work right, you're not going to be able to put it in the outlet. It ain't going to work. Some wires are going to be twisted or exposed, and it's just not going to connect. Okay. So please remember that. Don't get sucked up into don't get sucked up into the society crap where, oh, I'm not raising my child with gender roles. I'm not doing that. Okay, y'all gonna look real stupid in the future. Okay, why? And even if your child was raised with gender roles, they're gonna be who they're gonna be anyway. You know what I'm saying? People did not raise their kids in non-gender roles, and they're still gay and lesbian kids. and trans kids. Okay, they're gonna be what they're gonna be anyway, so it doesn't matter. Mhm. um, how can you make yourself more beautiful? Like wigs and makeup are not going to make your facial features change. Yes, they will. Psh, plastic surgery, contouring. If you want to go that far, some people will go that far, but you don't need plastic surgery. You just need some good contour, some good makeup. Okay. If a man can change his entire face, yeah, you can too. I'm just saying, if they can do it, I don't see the difference. Um, you need to cuss a lot, and I quit because it wasn't feminine. Yes, using vulgar language is very masculine. Screaming is very masculine. Using a lot of slang words is also very masculine. So if you're doing any of those things and you want to be more feminine, automatically just cut them out. That's it. Uh-huh. And there's only one thing that can make a man weak by free will: femininity. Okay. Y'all have been trying so much to control a man, you forgot that feminine women control men. Okay. I've been getting people in my inbox talking about spell work, make him buy him to me, stop him from cheating. I said, no, you need to be able to do that automatically. Why? You need to be a feminine woman and you need to be with a masculine man. Okay. You need to be in control of your emotions and you need to exude femininity. That is the magic within itself. It really is. So it's masculinity. Masculinity is magic within itself. There's nothing uh, more attractive than a masculine man to a woman. Okay. Nothing. Nothing more powerful. And some people like that masculine type. A lot of people get it confused with thugs and bad boys because their masculinity is more um, exposed, but it also means responsibility. Okay. The bad boys and the thugs are masculine with no responsibility. You got to get the one with the responsibility. Okay. But you can practice on them when you're teenagers with protection when you're young adults. But don't go into your mid 20s and up with any of those type. Okay. Be balanced. Um, yes. And that means also wearing more dresses, more skirts. Okay. If you're always in pants and you're always in jeans and sneakers, that's not feminine. Okay. Yes, more color. Um, it's also having certain standards. A feminine woman will not accept certain things, you know, in their partner. So also remember that. There. You call it balance also. Okay. What about shorts? Shorts are cute, but what about a skirt? They have mini skirts. I'm just saying. Mhm. Some men are afraid of very feminine women. Yes, because they're powerful. They'll be under a spell. Thank you, Jola, for the donation. I appreciate it. Uh-huh. And just like a very masculine man has power, as well over feminine women. Some women are afraid of very masculine men because they feel like they're going to lose themselves. So that's why before you get with anybody, you need to know who you are and what you are, so that when you meet your partner or your man or your woman, that you complement each other instead of fear each other or compete against each other. It doesn't make sense. You just need to complement each other. Okay. When two when the negative and the positive complement each other, you have what? Light. You have electricity, you have energy, you have power. When you repel each other, when you competing against each other, you don't have anything but separation. Okay. When you're afraid of, you have nothing. You got nothing. You don't even have anything. So that's why it's very important to understand relationships on an alchemical level, on a scientific level. Yeah, a lot of people in society have people running around here doing everything backwards and wrong, which is why the status of masculine and feminine and relationships are the way they are today. Um, so you have to have that balance and you have to understand why you need it. There's more power in balance than there is in anything. And when I say balance, I don't mean like equal, okay? Because you can have two things that are totally different that weigh the same but are not the same. Okay? Think about it. hmm Because otherwise it will be called the law of polarity, but it's called the law of gender instead. Why? Because it's not the same. Okay. Okay. Thank you. It's just like flavors. You got two flavors. You got two spices. They might be the same color, might look the same quality, might look like the same texture, but the taste is totally different. And maybe combined, they complement each other, like nutmeg and cinnamon. You combine all those type of spices together that look similar. What do you have? Pumpkin pie spice. Okay, so they're not the same. They look the same. They may act this. I mean, they may appear the same, but they're not. They're complementary. Okay, that made you think of eggnog. Yeah. Just like two liquids, they could be clear, two clear bottles of liquids. That doesn't mean they're equal. Okay, would you go up and drink two clear bottles of liquid and thinking they're the same? Would you risk your life? Okay, this is how you know that just because you're equal does not mean you're the same. Okay, so you need to be, there's different caution that has to be taken with certain clear liquids that don't need to be taken with water. So you have to remember that. Mhm. What? Dee Dee, did you ask a question? Because I didn't see it. Let me go look. Because you know it's a lot of people here. I think I just saw a new. Just ask the question again because it's too many. Thank you, Lisa. The knowledge you give is to me is both learning and confirmation. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for watching, girl. Thank you for that donation too. Um, yeah, you're gonna have to just ask the question again and again and again because can you talk about Cardi B fighting two strippers and Offset's ugly butt? It's possible to tame a man like Offset. Um, Cardi B is reacting. She's not thinking. Okay. That is reaction. That's not using the law of cause and effect. Okay. She doesn't know any of this stuff yet. Okay. They want to teach her, but she's not trying to learn right now. They're trying to get there. They're trying to they're trying to get her in there, and I think that's why Nikki is going at her so hard because she doesn't have the knowledge yet. When she gets the knowledge, I don't know what's going to happen. She doesn't have this knowledge yet, okay, and it shows. Because she's reaction, she's not cause. You can never tame a man. A man has to be spellbound by you. And what I mean by that is you have to be feminine and in control of yourself in order to control anything else with outside of yourself. Okay. If she can't control herself, she can't control no man. And that's a lot of women's issue. If you don't know who you are, what you are, if you're not confident in who you are and what you are, there's no way you're ever going to control any type of man. Ever. And I wouldn't even call it control. I would call it, there's no way that you're going to keep a man attracted to you. Okay. In a certain way. So, and I mean, you could use her as an example of just because you look feminine doesn't mean you are feminine. Your actions also are very important when it comes to being feminine. Fighting is not feminine unless somebody's trying to kill you or your child. It's not feminine. Unless it's self-defense. Fight for your life. Okay, or call 911 or something. I don't know. So, thank you. Right. So a lot of people let's get back to the title because I totally forgot I titled it that. People treat you on your appearance. Let's just be real. People treat you how you look. No matter what your mama told you, what your teacher told you, what your counselor told you, what your therapist told, people treat you on how you look. That's just fact. Because as soon as you see someone, you judge them. You don't say, oh, I wonder what that weird dude that looks like Chucky is really like on the inside. Let me get to know him first. You don't say that. You run the other way. Okay. So appearance is your first impression. It is. And even in the spiritual community, people look a certain way to attract other spiritual people. Okay. If I see somebody looking a certain way, I automatically know they're spiritual because they got the necklaces on. They got, this look, this type of look, this type of clothes, minimum this, maximum that. They smell like this, spiritual. If you say something like meditate or astral travel, they're going to understand. So a lot of people choose to dress like that in order to attract someone similar. Right? But, right? Look within and yourself see beauty in a law. What? Look like what you need to be around. Yeah, exactly. So, how do you dress to just how your spirit wants to be decorated? How you dress is just how your spirit wants to be. Okay. That's true, but you also have free will and you also are able to use the law of cause and effect. Okay. So keep that in mind. Now people are people and they're going to have their own way to deal with things. But if you stay within universal law, you should be fine. Okay. Cause and effect. some women are just prone to be more masculine, like some men are prone to be more feminine. That's true, and that's why they will attract a more feminine partner, whether they're male or female, you know. And that's just how it has to be for some people, unless they consciously take the effort to make a change in that. Okay. Um, do you think being on the heavier side is masculine? It depends how you're shaped. You know, if you're very curvy and voluptuous and you have the curves in the correct places that make you look more feminine, then I don't think that will make you look masculine. But if you're not shaped like that womanly body, then it probably will make you look more masculine. So remember that has something to do with it too. Mhm. Mhm. It makes you look matronly. Okay. Mhm. And it's also another reason, there's also, she says, having more weight makes you look motherly. Um, that's also a reason why women who are younger are treated differently than older women. Okay. Because men associate young women with being more vulnerable or childlike. So they give them more of that masculine attention than they do an older woman. So that also is a factor. Hmm. Hmm. Well, men are naturally going to be sexually attracted to the female. Naturally, that's the job. That's what you're trying to do. You shouldn't be offended by that. You should be happy about that. The next thing is how you can take control of that and make it work in your favor. Okay. So instead of being upset about it, that was the exact purpose of being feminine. Now figure out how to use that to your advantage. Thank you, Kia. Always learn something new. I was disciplined. What not? Oh, what does that mean? You was disciplined. What? That means you were punished if you were disciplined, or you were made to do things a certain way. Um. Okay, so let me ask you a question. If you're out hunting, if you're a hunter, if you're out fishing, if you're a fisher, if you're out catching bugs, what do you need? Bait. This is your bait. If you're fishing with no bait or the wrong bait, you're not going to catch nothing. Okay. Don't be upset because a fish swam up to you because you are bait. Reel it in. Put that, dangle that carrot on a string. That's what it's for. And men know, men know that. Yeah. That's why I said dangle the carrot on a string. So men, they know that a woman wants certain things, as the masculine aspect of the universe. Men know that the women need certain things from them. So they display that. When a man goes out, what does he do? He tries to look his best, like he has something going on, like he's building something, right? Like he has himself together. That's what they come out looking like. They come out looking like they have themselves together because that's what women are attracted to, stability. Okay. And they also make sure that they are clean and looking and smell good and look nice and, and presentable. Okay. But more than less, they come out looking like they have something to offer you. Even if they don't, they will put on the air that they do. So, yes, so that's how masculine energy attracts feminine energy. They'll also be very confident in themselves. They'll also be trying to impress you. They'll also be trying to show how, strong they are for you, as far as, maybe if they're taller than you or muscular or, you know, um, helping you, get attention of maybe like the bartender if you're in a, just doing for you and presenting themselves as the masculine one. So that's that's like the attraction dance. That would be more like the mating dance. That has to happen in order for a woman and a man to truly be attracted to each other chemically and alchemically. If you're, yeah, and a lot of people have a tough time dating because when they get into conversation with women, the women, what they're talking about becomes masculine, and the man gets turned off automatically because he's looking for femininity. When it also happens for the woman, when the man starts talking feminine, she gets turned off. She cuts it off. She's like, mm-mm. Nexodus, thank you so much. Thank you for the donation. I appreciate it. Okay, so there is no specific test to narrow it down. Mhm. When a man starts to asking, "What do you do for work?" you get turned off. Exactly. RV Lee, thank you, girl. 222 two. She gave me 4 twos. Thank you. Thank you for all you do. Thank you for watching, girl. Thank you for the donation. So you have to have standards. That's how you narrow it down. Okay. You already have your standards in your mind. If they meet the standards, they pass. If they don't pass. Okay. As a feminine woman, you have standards. You don't just take anything. How do you know when your convo is starting to get messy? If you start talking about career, work, accomplishments, um, if you start sounding like a colleague, that's when it turns masculine. Okay. Yes. Sadly, yes. Any woman on this channel needs to be subscribed to Sure Star God's channel to be balanced. hmm So remember, this is not a job interview when you're on a date. It's not a chest beating contest. It's not an I'm more educated than you contest. It's not a contest at all. You don't compete with a man who's trying to impress you. Okay. That would be like you going to get a new car and you keep telling the car salesman about your old car when he's trying to sell you a new car. Or it's like when your child comes home and shows you a beautiful artwork and how they got a really good grade on it, and you bring out your artwork and you say, well, look what mommy drew. You know, don't take their shine. Let them shine. That's what they want to do. That's why they're up there talking to you. Okay. Um, and a lot of women have a habit of doing this. I know I have a habit of putting myself in other situations. I already know that's one of my flaws. But I'm conscious of it sometimes, and I can stop myself. And that's why, yes, some women do it automatically and they're not conscious of it. I'm conscious of it. I'll be like, I want to say it, but then I'll hold back. Sometimes I do say it. I'll, and then like, but not around someone who's really trying to impress me. I noticed that sometimes I did do that to my kids or my husband, and then I just laugh about it and say, you know what? Let me see what else you have. Forget mommy. Mommy old. Mommy done did everything y'all done anyway. Let me see what's new. Let me see what's new. So sometimes you have to take yourself out of the picture in order to really let someone else shine. Um, there you go. Oh, I know a lot of women are very proud of their accomplishments and all the success that they've had, but men are not impressed by that unless they want to use your success to build themselves up. Now, I talk about this on my other channel because a lot of women get confused and they don't know the difference between masculine and feminine men. Okay. Um, a masculine man wants to add to you. They want to give you something. Okay. Just like if y'all were both naked. A masculine man wants to give the woman something, not take something from her. Okay. You understand? Provider, giver, receiver. Okay. If he wants something from you, he's receiver. He's the wrong, he's the plug and not the outlet. So that's why you have to have that balance. Because then before you know it, you're the man in the relationship. And you're unhappy because that's not your nature. Hmm. You were tricked into giving away your femininity, giving away femininity in exchange for a false sense of power when femininity was your most powerful aspect. Okay. You were tricked into giving away your femininity for a false sense of power when it only repels what you really want. Even though the femininity was the strongest power that you were going to ever need. Okay. So just keep that in your mind. If you're looking dumpy, if you walk around the house, if y'all on my other channel, y'all already know how this speech goes. If your man comes home to see you looking really bad, you might as well be a man. So thanks. Jessica, good for you. Okay. So put on something to keep him chasing after you. Exactly. Even if you're a stay-at-home mom or you're a working mom and you just look bad, go in the bathroom before he gets home, put some lipstick on, fix your hair, put a wig on or something. Just do something so he doesn't come home thinking, dang, I've been around other women all day that look 10 times better than you. Why I got to come home to this? I'm just saying. Okay. It is. Okay, think about it. If your man goes out to work and he's working with women, men, whatever, they're dressed, they're nice, they got to come to work looking professional. They can't come in there looking bad, right? He works all day, fights through traffic, gets told off by his boss, have to deal with stupid coworkers, all the stress. Then he drives all the way home in that rush hour traffic, almost getting a wreck, you know. Then he comes in the house to see the gremlin sitting on the couch that he's working and taking all this abuse from the outside world for. He's not gonna think it's worth it after a while. Okay. So put yourself together before you see your man after his long day of work. Same thing with the women. Men, if you beat your woman home, don't look like you were being lazy all day. Look like you've been doing stuff, okay? You've been handling business. Okay, that's right. I think masculine and feminine energy works the same at any age, okay? Because uh, just like a young man likes a beautiful or attractive feminine woman, unless he's with her for the wrong reason, because he wants something from her besides her, then you're not going to have a problem. You know, some women, um, some women know that unless they have a certain type of job, house, income, that they're not going to have a certain type of man. Okay, so they compensate by giving more than they're receiving, which is masculine. Okay. So if you're a truly feminine woman and you're with a man of the same age and they're a truly masculine man, it's not going to make a difference. Hmm. Someone says brush their teeth. This reminds me of when you went Whitley, different world, fixed herself up. Dwayne woke up and told her she wakes up naturally beautiful. Right. So, yeah, we have to remember that. We can't forget that. I mean, if you go back to ancient times, you have all these ladies who, they spent hours making their clothing, making hair things, and fixing themselves up. They spent hours on making oils and perfumes and all these things. They spent a long. They emphasized the feminine aspect in a lot of the things that they did. Okay. Um, and ingredients and things weren't as abundant or easy to get as they are today. And some of us won't even try. Hmm. Imagine how much more powerful as a woman you would be if you walked out in your femininity every day. Imagine how more powerful of a man you would be if you walked out in your masculinity every day. Hmm. That's why they say, attractive people get hired faster and get promoted faster. Thank you, Princess Kayla. Oh, she gave me a donation too. Thank you, girl. And Miss Have One, she gave me a donation too. Thank you. I've heard women say that they're too busy being black. They can't be a woman. This is why black women are considered strong rather than feminine. Um, like I said, go back to ancient Egypt. Them women was black all day, every day, but they still found time to be feminine. Okay. So that's not an excuse. Um, sure, I've been attracting a lot of younger guys lately. What can I do to change this? Have a more classier look, a more expensive look. Okay. Mhm. The only time I am masculine is when my men try me and he is wearing jogging pants. I'm trying to what? Okay. Mm-hmm. You're an orphan and raised yourself and you're extremely feminine. That's good. I'm sorry you're an orphan. Some people wish they were an orphan because some of these parents out here ain't worth too much anyway, y'all. So just think about that. um, why do conscious men say they like women to focus on their why do conscious men say women focus too, I think you missed a word, too much on their appearance and we should be all natural? Y'all, you need to come to my other channel. Because if another man sees you looking your best, he is that man's competition. And if this other man has what you like and he's more masculine or have something to offer that the other one doesn't, then guess what? That attraction level is going to be high because you look extra feminine. Okay? The less feminine you look, the less men are going to be attracted to you. Hmm. So that's why. It's the same reason, and I say this on my other channel, it's the same reason you don't want your man taking a Ferrari out on Saturday night to the club. It's the same reason. Okay? Can you speak on a little on standards? Um, Standards for a feminine woman is for a man to be a man, a protector and a provider. Those are the two things that feminine women require in a masculine male. Okay? Those are other standards you can put in as you like, but those two have to stay. Okay? Because if you're sitting there paying for men, then you are the man. Unless it's his birthday or Christmas or something like that. Mhm. You cannot take on masculine responsibilities if you are with a masculine man, unless he's dying and sick and you have no choice. But then when he gets well, you're going right back, or you're hiring someone to do those things for you. Okay. Mhm. So, um, right. You feel like this is something you should teach yourself, not learn from someone else. Well, a lot of people don't know. They don't have this information. So they have to learn it elsewhere. Um, are you between the ages of 27 and 35? If so, you are currently in your first Saturn return. Study this. I'll be a time when you either much what? Be a time when you're either much younger or much older men will be drawn. Oh, okay, you're talking to Sherry. Um, let me just blow this up so I don't have to strain. And for him to be of service, yeah, okay. Yes, yes. I already had this information within me. Good for you. Some people don't because they grew up with masculine mothers or feminine fathers, so they don't know. You know, they don't know. Um, if a man asks you if you're into zodiac, what should you say? No. Even if you are, test him. See if he is. If he is, he's probably going to be super feminine as well. Or he's trying to figure out the best way to play you. If a man asks you if you're, yeah. See, I would never. That's just one of my personal standards. I wouldn't want to date a man who is into the same stuff that I am spiritually. You can't have the same, Reality tea with Miss Kathy. Thank you so much for the donation. Thank you for all you do, Ashira. Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, it's stuck. Okay. that's just my personal thing. I don't want you knowing what I know or doing what I do. That's part of my feminine charm. I mean, you can know a little bit, just a little bit. um, They're seriously masculine men that are astrologers. Yeah, I know, but I don't want that type of masculine man. But if I did, yes, you're correct. That's just my personal preference. Mhm. What do you think of yoni eggs? A lot of people ask me that. Okay, honestly, I don't think that you need, I think it's more of mental. I think it's all mental. And some people need a physical reminder of certain things. Okay. And so that's what those are for. I don't think they're necessary. I just think a lot of people have an issue with remembering all is mental. And so sometimes they have to literally experience an experience physically to understand it mentally and spiritually. Some people are going to do it the other way around. That's why you have some people that make mistakes, and there's some people that learn from others, and there's some people that just know not to do certain things. Okay. It just depends. Okay. Um, yeah, I've never used one. I don't see a need for it. Again, it's too much. It's like a trend and everybody jumped on it. No one thought about it. Okay. Mhm. How come the elixir prices have gone up? There are different types of elixirs, and the prices are different on the different types. They're not all the same price because they're made with different ingredients. Okay. Right. Even if you do blah 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 blah. See, y'all are focused too much on, and that's fine, but y'all are focused too much on the physical. All is mental. Okay. Focus on the mental. That's how you get them. Okay. Everybody can do the same thing physically, but not everybody can do the same thing mentally. Okay. Think about it. Mhm. That's why you see some men who are spellbound by their women and some who are not because it's the mental. You can be mentally addicted to someone, not because men don't become physically addicted to a person. That's women. Men don't become physically addicted to women. Men become mentally addicted to women. Okay? Not to a woman. Think about it. Okay? You can't you can't grab a man with only the physical side. You need the mental side. Mhm. Right. Very good topic. Okay, just like a man cannot get a woman with just the sex. He has to use what? Some words. He got to make some what? Promises. He got to make you feel what? Special. Okay? Even though, you know, they know that. That's why they do that. Because it's not physical. Okay, now I usually don't talk about why do you think that in order for you to be able to I'll just call it release, that you have to be in concentration and you have to be thinking. Why do you think that? Because the physical and the mental are connected, as well as the spiritual. So, right, and women are more mental and men are more visual. That's why I titled this "You Get Treated More Masculine" or "You Act More Masculine," because if the way you look, if men aren't attracted to you, then if men aren't attracted to you because they're more visual, then you know you're considered more masculine. And as far as how they treat you, different from a feminine woman. So, how to make him obsessed, addicted to you both ways, physically and mentally. No alchemy, no universal law, art of seduction, all of that combined. Okay. If you're, you look great. Thank you. I appreciate it, Golden Queen. It's it's the same thing. Um. Oh, somebody's mowing the lawn. Ugh. If your your natural feminine mind, if allowed to be feminine, knows. Okay. You know what men like. You know men like feminine, soft voices. You know what they like to hear. You know what boosts their ego. All of that stuff, combine it. You will know all of that if you shut up and stop talking and listen, because so many women dominate the conversation these days because there's so many masculine women. If you be quiet, they're going to tell you everything you need to know about them so that you can put it into your seduction technique. Okay. I think there's nothing wrong with binding. It doesn't mean you're insecure. Yeah, I mean, you can bind. I don't have anything against binding. I'm just saying you got to be able to get it before you can bind it. Uh huh. Right. Mm-hmm. I am a blah, blah, blah. Talk to him. It must have to do with a hurt he's experienced. What? And now, like a lot of men, they use that as an excuse for not to commit. Oh, I've been hurt. That means I'm not ready to commit to you ever. Okay, that's code for I'm not committing to you. Because what man is going to put himself in a vulnerable position if not to get out of a commitment? That means you're not the one. Um, you have a consultation with me today? What time? Because I don't have anything on my calendar unless it's for tonight at 6. 11:30. It's been 11:30. I've already called like 3 hours ago. I told you I was Central Time. I, I called you like 3 times. You didn't answer, so you have to reschedule. And I'm on Central Time. Uh-huh. Did you miss me yesterday too? Because we were supposed to have one yesterday, unless you're the wrong person. Does your number start with a 2? Okay, yeah. Oh, wrong person. Well, I don't have you on schedule, so either you didn't write back fast enough, or did you write me back fast enough? I don't know. I don't have you down. Email me or write me again because I don't have it. I'm so sorry. Mm-hmm. Okay. Da, 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 da. Um, it's hard staying feminine when my boyfriend tells me something and I have a suggestion. Um, Honey, if your boyfriend is not fit to lead you as a woman and you don't trust his decisions and they're not correct or how you want to roll, and you just have this big, huge urge to give him a suggestion, you're being his mother. And women, I mean, men aren't turned on by their mama. Okay. Let him get his little ideas out. Okay. Let him get his ideas out. Okay. It's not your idea, it's his idea. If you don't like it, don't roll with it. It's like, no, I don't think I'm going to do that. But have fun. And if he asks you why, it's like, oh, no, don't worry about it. He's going to beg you for the answer. Then you give it to him because you didn't force it on him. He begged you. Oh, no, I don't know. I don't want to. No, I'm busy. I don't want, that sounds good, but I don't want to really participate. Then he's going to ask you why. You still play coy. No, I just don't feel like it. I don't know. But you have fun. That's a really good idea. You're very creative. And then he's going to beg you for the answer. No, please just tell me for real. Okay. And then you have to give it to him nicely. Like, oh, you sure? Because, it was such a good idea, but it's just not something that I would do. Hmm. Then he'll say, well, tell me. Well, I mean, have you thought about, don't say you need to do, don't say you need to do. That's very motherly and masculine or authoritative. And it emasculates them. Just say, well, have you ever thought about A, B, C, and D? That's how you present it in a feminine way. You don't emasculate and compete. You get more when you don't do that. Believe me. Some women don't know how to say things the correct way to get what they really want. They don't think, they react. That's another thing. If you use the law of cause and effect, you will think before you speak, and you will think about the effect that's going to happen if you say certain things. That way, it's easy to switch up your words to get the results that you want. Okay? So think about things before you say it. Don't react. When you react, you're not using your higher mind, you're using your lower mind, your animalistic, instinctual strike mind, your reptilian mind. Okay? You're not using your higher mind. So, yes. Okay. You think mothers have a great deal to do with training their daughters the art of speaking to men? That's true. If you watch your mom emasculate your father or her boyfriends or whoever, you're going to do the same thing. So if your mom is not a good example, don't follow that example. Okay. American women need training on masculine respect. Um, I would say, American men also need the same training for feminine respect. So they both need training. You're correct. Um, my mom was abused. She spoke from that anger. The reptilian urges will never go away. That's why you have the law of cause and effect and free will and self control. They might never go away, but they can be controlled. You ever seen a snake tamer? Respect is earned. What? Respect is earned, not given. Well, before you meet, before you get to know a person, it's a mutual automatic respect. And then the rest of your respect is earned, and especially if you're in a relationship. Um, Especially if you're in a relationship, you need to be careful how you treat that person, because if you're going to repel them and then 2 minutes later want them to be all over you, it's not going to work. Uh-huh. So if you emasculate your man and then want him to be all, sorry and chasing you, you're going to have the opposite effect. So you have to do it in a feminine way. Like I read some article on how to argue with the man or put him down without emasculating him. And it works. And the men will like you more afterwards instead of less. You see how this works? You can argue with your man and have him like you more afterwards than he did before if you do it the correct way. That's the magic of feminine energy. Okay. Now, people don't understand, oh, how do they do this? Words are very powerful. Words are very powerful. Pair them with feminine energy, there's no escape. I need to make a video called How to Let You. Oh my God, Roz, I'm hiding all your stuff. And just so I don't have to do it no more. Yeah. So, men, okay, you said men are sensitive. No, men want to be masculine. That's all they have. Honestly, don't take it away from them. Only because I understand that by you taking that away from them, what do they have left to offer you? Ashira, you look good with dark hair. Thank you, girl. Thank you for the donation. We care a lot. I appreciate it. Okay, here's my thing. Men are sensitive when you emasculate them. They're not sensitive about much of anything else. Okay? You shouldn't have to lecture a man. That's his mom's job. Hmm. That's where a lot of women are going wrong. They're picking up the mother role, okay, and wonder why that their men don't want them anymore. Hmm. They get emasculated because they act like children, or you act like their mother. See how it goes both ways. If they're acting like a child, it takes a mother to lecture a child. So you're also making it worse. What you got to do, I'll tell y'all the secret. Instead of lecturing that man about something he did wrong, you don't lecture him at all. You allow him to stand in that decision or to stand in that mistake and figure out how to fix it. Okay? Because how else will they learn? Yeah. Um, you have to let them learn. You can't be their mom. You got to let them be a man. Otherwise, they can go back home and live with mama and do the same stuff. Okay. See, that's the problem. You can't. That's why a lot of people have issues and with their relationship because they're too busy being the mom. And then they wonder why the man leaves them for a younger woman in about 15 years because they tired of sleeping with their mama. Okay, just listen. Discipline that man until he finds him another one, and until he's tired of sleeping with mama. I'm telling y'all, don't get don't get it confused as you're being strong, because that's not what attracts a masculine man. Thank you, SC. Women should not be with men they have to treat like their child. That's the definition of an incomplete adult. Never tell a man what to do, and it's the demise of any relationship. Yeah, let them be stupid. It is the demise. And it's only because if you think about it, flip flip the switch. Let's flip it around. If the man were to tell us what to do, to scold us, to embarrass us in public, to tell us and lecture us about ourselves, how would you feel? hmm What if they Donald Trumped you? Okay. How would you feel? Violated. Exactly. You'd be looking for a replacement the next day, wouldn't you? You would keep your eye open. Okay. That's all. That's what I'm trying to tell you. You can't. He will blame you for everything. Exactly. So, right. You don't fall into the category of mother ever. You never scold them ever. What you do is say, well, if they did something like, if they spent all the money or they lost some money or they bought something they shouldn't have bought, just like, well, maybe you pick up some extra hours. I know you'll figure it out. You're very smart. Don't be happy about it. Just put the responsibility back on him to fix it. Don't yell at him. You know. Oh, you come in late. Oh, you came in. Oh, you must have had a long, hard day at work. Um, to have to go to the bar afterwards. You smell like alcohol. Are you okay? This is saying, I know you went to the bar after work. Where you been? Now they're like, yeah, I had a hard day at work. Yeah, I went to the bar and I had a drink and I met my friend. Then he gonna tell you more than he would have told you before because you're not mad, you know. hmm He can't deny the truth because you already just told him that you smell alcohol on him and he's been drinking and he must have had a hard day. Now you're letting him be okay with telling the truth instead of fearing telling the truth and then lying, and then you're getting even more upset, you know, or arguing about it. Just already accept what it is and, oh, you must have had a hard day at work. Then he's going to give you all the information you probably need just for not being crazy. Um, and not trying to be his model. It's not doormatish. You know why? You know why it's not doormatish? Because he knows you already know. And number two, he knows you have a choice. And yes, he knows you have a choice to yell at him or not. And once he knows you have that choice and you choose the other thing, and you're not emotionally affected, that means you're a thinker. Okay, you got to really think about this. That means you're a thinker, not a reactor. So he knows you're strategic at this point. So he's going to be careful on his next moves. Okay. Doormatish is, where have you been? How come you didn't call? I was at the bar. Okay. I don't have to call every time I go somewhere. Okay, you're right. That's doormat. Telling them, oh, you smell like alcohol. You must have went to the bar. You must have had a hard day at work. Tell me about your day. That's different than being, oh, okay. That's you're leaving with no information. Okay. Yes. Do you don't nag. You just already say what exactly what you know. Oh, and also if you look good, he's not gonna go to the bar. If you got some wine at home and you're in some lingerie or some sexy outfits, when he gets home, he ain't going to the bar. Mm. First of all, it's free to drink at home. Second of all, he can get whatever he wants at home, especially if he wants it, if because it looks good. Okay. If you look better than anything in the bar, then that's where he's going home. That's what I'm saying. It's very important. Sure, you are. Thank you. I'm snacking on Mike and Ike. Ooh, I want some because I'm out. Mhm. Yeah. If you go out and someone says, get that girl a drink, and he says, no, I don't know, get and that say do it, what will you what? Girl, you need to reword that. If you're saying if someone says get that girl a drink and no one does, I don't know what you're saying because that came out really backwards. I'm 36-year-old and my mom won't stop trying to control my life, who I date, etc. How do I stop her? You're 36. Okay, I don't want to get on your case, but you're 36. You're almost 40. Okay, you're almost 40. That's that's a that's a that you have free will. Okay, if you're almost 40 years old and you're letting your mother control your life, that's a personal choice that you have chosen. Hmm. Um, I'm going. Yeah, you could choose to ignore it or choose to listen to it. They got two choices. Hmm. I have to really think about now. I make sure I'm being feminine, right? Right. Yeah. You can have emotions, but don't allow them to make the decisions for you. Control them. Use strategy instead of reacting. Um, the reason I say that is because, okay, so for example, if you keep reacting to certain things, your partner is no longer going to want to share anything with you. They're going to start keeping things from you and keeping secrets from you because they don't like your emotional reactions. If you show them that you're not an emotional reactor, they're more likely to open up and be honest with you. Okay. That's just the truth. Like I won't even say if my husband comes home and I don't ask about what he's been doing or what he's done today. And the fact that I don't even ask, he comes to tell me. Okay? Why? Because I don't care. And when you don't care, they care more. Or you say, "Oh, hey, what's up? How's your day?" And you don't really mean it. They're like, "Oh, good," da da da. But if you're all up in their face, where you been, what you do, who you saw, how come you didn't call, how come you didn't call me, how come you didn't answer my phone, how come you don't text me back, they're going to lock up. Okay, so there's a difference. If a person says go and you don't want, then I say people are not the same. I don't like people like that. What? Your relationship is always one-sided. That's why I'm alone. Bam. Well, if it's on your side, then you're good. You got to get the relationship on your side. Um, Sure, I just posted in the spiritual group. Okay. So the image of the angry black woman shown on TV is basically to emasculate the black man. um, I believe it's a stereotype, and as long as we perpetuate the stereotype, that's what the stereotype is going to continue to be. Okay. As long as we're not in control of our emotions, that's what will be portrayed. That's what it is. Um, don't think about twin flames. I don't think about twin flames. I think about um, masculine and feminine. Okay. Please, please, please answer. I went snooping in my man's stuff and found out, and he ghosted me for 3 months. Who is wrong? I befriended his friends on Messenger. You wrong. You're too needy and insecure. Okay. Why? Okay. And I'm not trying to be rude. I'm just saying, why would a man want a woman who has to go and do all of that behind his back because she doesn't trust him and she's insecure? That means something is wrong with you and he hasn't discovered it yet. You know what I'm saying? It means something is actually wrong with you and he is probably not willing to find out what that is because you're showing signs of insecurity, obsession, and control. Not good. Okay. Does acting feminine make you look better? It sure does. If you took the ugliest chick and let's say you didn't have no makeup or wigs, but you wanted her to be more attractive, tell her to talk in a baby voice and smile and bat her eyelashes. That's automatically going to make her more attractive. If y'all, right? Makes a huge difference. It sure does. You know. So being feminine, even if you don't have makeup or anything, your actions and the way you talk, the way you move your body is also going to help with your femininity. Talking to baby voice and smiles, it works. Y'all want to see? I do this on my other channel a lot. Okay, so men, the men that are in here, if you were out and about and you saw two women, they look exactly the same, but one walked up to you and she was like, excuse me, do you know where you know where this place is? I can't, I'm lost. I don't know where it's at. Would you be as willing to help them as the woman that comes up to you and say, excuse me, hi, could you help me? I don't know where this place is. Will you please help? Will you show me where this is? Will you help me? Wouldn't you respond more to that? Wouldn't something just tingle inside? Is something tingling? Yes, because it's more feminine and it attracts masculine men. You said number two. That's true. And I know women are not thinking this way a lot because they're just trying to live life and just survive and make it to the next day. But this will make it easier. Okay. You said women always touch you. Uh-huh. Somebody's laughing. Mm-hmm. Um, you're naturally like the second one. Good. Two for the win. Right. I like when women are assertive. Luxury. Then you're probably more of a, what's your sign? Your water sign? Real talk, real talk. Yes. Do you really believe in spiritual baths? If you believe, you shall achieve. All is mental. Mhm. Oh, luxury is a woman. Okay, well then. I didn't know she was a woman because it's hard to tell with certain names. You can tell certain names are women and some you can't. They're a bit androgynous. It's so hard to remember to be feminine. I was raised by a masculine woman and I didn't have a father in my household. Okay. We have to practice, girl. You got to practice. That's why the Kardashians talk like that. Mhm. The Kardashians talk slow and calm. Yes, they sure do. You have to constantly polish your feminine energy. Exactly. And for like masculine energy, men, they talk in that deep voice. Y'all know when they grow the beards, they put that cologne on. They know how to work their side. Why don't y'all? Okay. Or they shave, whichever one you prefer. Mhm. What are some traits of a feminine man? Okay. Straight men that have more of a feminine demeanor are needy. They always need you. They want they're they're more emotional. They want you to help out. They want tit for tat. They want everything fair and split down the middle, or they want you to do more for them. They care more about what you can do for them. They guilt you into certain things. Okay, just they act like a woman, basically. They can look like the most masculine thing on the planet, but if they're acting like a woman, they're feminine. You know, in that nature, or like you're not gonna buy me these new shoes. I don't get paid till next week. That's feminine. Okay. Or, anyone that tries to make you feel guilty for putting yourself as a priority is feminine. Well, you just went to Sephora and you bought all this stuff and you can't help out with the bills? No. Hi, Shira. I'm so excited to be part of your manifesting dark energy group. Please ask me when you have time. Okay, I will. I'm gonna put you down right now in my reminder. Okay. So I don't forget. Okay. There you go. You're welcome. So emotional for no reason. Exactly. Shira, what do you think of religious men? They say they want an independent woman who's natural hair. Girl, they want a maid. Okay. Tell them that your maid price is $30 an hour. Mm. If you like this channel, you got to go to my other channel because this is not really what I do on this channel. Shira 7, that channel. This is just the spiritual aspect of it as far as balance. If you see the couples that have stayed together the longest, you'll notice that the gender roles are there. Okay, they're not absent. Man is the man and the woman is the woman. Hmm. People say they want someone who's like a best friend. Would you consider James as a best friend? A best friend? Um, I mean, I can talk to him pretty much about anything, and we don't really have any secrets, so I guess. Doesn't mean he's gonna be listening, but or understanding what I'm saying, but he'll listen. He'll sit there. Okay. How to be balanced if you're so feminine. Um, if you're a woman and you're so feminine, control your emotions and you will be balanced. You have a deep voice for a woman. Well, then you're gonna have to use it to your advantage. You're gonna have to soften it and do a baby voice as easy as you can. Lighten it up. Get some heat. No, try to lighten it or soften it. You know, loud is going to make it sound more masculine. Hmm. Some opposite men are Yeah, that's true. I've asked men to get stuff high on the store shelf. Oh, yeah, I've done that too. Well, actually, you're gay and super feminine and you attract masculine straight men. Okay, good for you. And that's another reason that a lot of women are upset. Y'all, I got to talk about it. That men are attracted to transsexuals. Um, because there are some transsexuals that are actually more feminine than real women. Why? Because a lot of women are masculine, and all they're doing is acting. That's all they're doing. Acting feminine. The same thing you can do. And they look the part, you know. You would never catch a trans in a bonnet with a house robe on, with a bag of Cheetos, sitting on the couch when their man gets home. So what I'm trying to say is there's an energy. And just because you're a woman doesn't mean a man can't tap into that energy, or a trans person can't tap into that energy. I mean, we were talking about American Horror Story the other day and how the character Michael, whatever, Langdon on American Horror Story is very androgynous, and he has everyone like on edge, like they don't know how to act around him. He's giving off this type of energy. He's giving off that type of energy. They don't know if he's gay, bi, straight, nothing. They don't know, but he's controlling all of them. Okay, but he's controlling all of them with just words. If you've noticed, he hasn't done any type of magic to them, really. Like if you watch the first couple episodes, but just talk and walk around and just, you know, mm, right. Trickery and magic are not masculine or feminine. It's just what happens after the truth comes out. What goes back to my point from before? It ain't tight. What? Then it ain't right. If it ain't tight, then it ain't right. Did you watch this Wednesdays? Yes, I did. He's all mental. He sure is. That's what I'm saying. You don't seduce with physical. It's part of how you look. Did you notice how he has longer hair and he has some eyeshadow? Mm. But he's still masculine in like a vampire way. That's how a lot of these famous musicians get all of those fans, like Prince and Michael. They are very androgynous and they took so many fans. Um, that's Yes. So now you see that these DL men coming out the woodwork. Oh gosh, I gotta. Yeah. Okay, so here's the deal. A lot of women get mad at trans women, and I'm not taking either side because there is no side. There's only feminine and masculine, y'all. Take the right side, and you'll have the right results. It's just as simple as that. Okay. There's no need to get mad at the trans. Exactly. Take your feminine role. Um. hmm There's no need to get mad at the. Oh, I already read that one. Ever since they portrayed the devil, even on the Antichrist, they are always androgynous. Yeah. Because that's the most powerful. You don't. The most powerful, and it only really works with men. Okay, think about it. What androgynous woman can do that? Not many. It's only the androgynous male because of the feminine energy, because it's that powerful. If you can take a man and make him more powerful by balancing the feminine energy, then you become the most powerful. Not see a trans woman is more feminine than masculine. Um, but an androgynous man is using both masculine and feminine energy to lure in. You know. hmm So if you've ever noticed how women are like entranced with these androgynous type men, and people are, ooh, he's gay. Ooh, no, I don't like him. Ooh, yeah, I think he's kind of. They don't care because the balance of that is very attractive, especially if the man is masculine in nature. You know, so for example, Prince, he had a very deep voice. He was very talented musically, a little freaky, and since that masculine balanced out the androgyny or the feminine aspect, the women were attracted. Okay. hmm Now, I'm not saying be androgynous because that doesn't really work for women. It works better for men. Okay. But if you do it the wrong way, it will backfire like Young Thug. Mm-mm. Okay. That's not working. These are, those are born with that frequency. Yeah. Women just have to be assertive. Um, Women just have to be assertive. Yeah, they can do it in a feminine way. You can be assertive in a feminine way. If you don't like what someone's doing, like if you don't like what your man is doing and you want to show him, like, I don't like that. Just like, I really don't like when you do that. But don't tell him not to do it. It's like, I really don't like it when you do that. It makes me uncomfortable. It's better than saying, why did you do that? You shouldn't do that. Stop doing that. See, I told you, you need to be doing this instead. It's different. Okay. Some men get turned on by a bossy woman. Yeah, but not in front of his friends and family. Because if a woman is bossy, she'll be bossy in front of everybody. That's only in the bedroom, baby. You're not gonna be turned on if she's calling you all kind of crazy stuff in front of your mom, are you? Or your sister, or your friends, or your coworkers, or your boss. So keep that in mind. Do it in the bedroom. Um, So just remember, if you want better relationships, if you want more power over the men you are with, your femininity is going to be your best bet. If you get treated bad because you don't fix yourself up enough or you're not considered what is typically considered as attractive, then there are steps you can take as far as making yourself look better, or even just acting more feminine will get you further, you know? So it's the balance. A masculine man will always help the feminine woman most. A masculine man will always help the feminine woman over the non feminine woman or the masculine woman. Okay. Hmm. Being masculine with a husband backfires. Exactly. If there's a grown man in the house, I'm going to be as feminine as I can. Okay. If there's a grown man in my house, I'm not going to be masculine at all. There's no need to be. Okay. Mhm. How to make a masculine man who was crazy about you desire you sexually again. Be very feminine. Talk like I showed you. Don't be all up in his business. Let him breathe. Ignore him. Spend time away from him. Okay. A man can't miss what he's always smothered by. Right? Don't smother them. My mom would yell at me when I was little. I used to be, mhm, stop talking like a baby. And it was embarrassing for me. I think that's why I now use it. Sasha talks like a baby, and I think it's so cute. um, mhm. I don't have a baby voice, but if I need to have one, I'll have one. I have one when it's time to get my oil changed. I play dumb too. Like, if men feel like that they can help you or teach you something, you're going to benefit from it. Believe me, even if you already know everything. Mm, they do, because many of them only deal with so-called straight guys. Okay, so right, like I went to the dealership. This was early in the morning, like right after I dropped my kids off from school. I think I told this story on my other channel. I was dressed really nice, full makeup, hair done, nails, had new perfume, just smelling good, very feminine colors. I walked in there. Hi, my oil change light came on. Um, I think I need an oil change. You know, oh my, the battery for my key. I don't know how to do it. Can you help me? Free. Okay. Oh no, ma'am. Let me get your keys. Let me go check it out. I'll be right back. Oh, okay. Well, it looks like, yeah, you do need an oil change, but don't worry, I'll take care of that for you. And let me see your key. I'll get you a new battery. Let me go fix that. I'll be right back. Just have a seat over there. Okay. Hmm. And then while your car's getting fixed, it's so nice weather, right? And then like you get different treatment. You sure do. Hmm. You finesse avocados. What? Feminine energy has that childlike innocence kind of vibe. Yeah, because yeah, and that's the thing. It makes men want to do for you. In times of crisis, not so sure, can recall when there was that reported gas shortage. A man wrote on Facebook how this pretty lady tried to skip him in the line, and he told her if this was regular. What? What's a good age to start talking to young girls about boys and what they should start thinking about? Well, I know in the fifth grade, they're going to teach your children about like their puberty and sex and stuff anyway. So probably before that. Um, women are like the head child. It's his job to take care of his family. But when you play games with it, it leads to fighting and problems. Hmm? Plus, it's all the truth that all is mental. Right. Um, my mom let me curse as a kid. Now it's hard to stop. I slip up sometimes. Oh. Well, you ever saw on TV where they have a punishment for swearing, like a swear jar, and every time you say a bad word, you have to put money in it. Mhm. Maybe that can help you. I don't know, or it'll help you save. Either way, you're gonna benefit. Yeah, every time you say a bad word, you got to put $1 in there. Mhm. Um, my I work as a phone sex. You work as a phone sex operator part time, and it helps to keep you in your feminine energy. Oh, okay. Well, well. And a lot of women who practice magic, they forget that the feminine nature of woman is also magical, and you have to also use that. It's part of your magic, as even as an alchemist. It's part of your balance. If you feel guilty for anything you've done, transmute it. That's why I'm saying become an alchemist. Miss Journey and become an alchemist. There is no healing if you're an alchemist. There's only transmutation and evolving. Um, you know, if you feel guilty about something, it's your choice. You can reason away guilt. You can reason that away, and make yourself, all you need to be doing is vibrating and feeling good about everything you've done in life. So you said that you had an abortion and you're trying to heal from karmic whatever. I don't even believe in karma because I can transmute it. So here's my excuse. If I were you, I would say, well, I had an abortion because the father was not correct. If I would have had that baby, my child would have been lacking and my life would have sucked. So instead of bringing more lack, pain, and mental issues into the world, instead, I took control of my own life and I'm creating the life in which I want. Okay. So that's what you have to do. And you have to vibrate in that feeling. Okay. First, imagine your life if you hadn't done it. Imagine how it would be, how tough it would be. And then imagine your life as it is because you didn't have the child. You're going to be feeling more relieved than needing to heal. You know what I mean? But whew, you know, I dodged a bullet on that one. So, do you have a video on alchemy and how to transmute? Yep, somewhere. Just go to my channel page where all my videos are and type it in the search bar. It'll come up. and type my name with it. hmm Someone has healing retreats. Yeah, that's the thing though. To focus on those things. Now, let me tell you guys about being an alchemist. You don't even focus on that. When you made that decision, you should have already been healed afterwards, right afterwards, because you made the decision. If you're not living in accordance to universal law, you're not being the cause of your life. Therefore, you can't handle the effects. So, practice the law of cause and effect before you do anything from now on. That way, you don't have to heal from a thing because you've already thought it through. You've already figured how you're going to feel afterward, and you're okay with everything because you've already thought about it. Mhm. If you continue to harp on it, it's because you want to and you like to and you thrive in that energy. Mhm. You like the attention that it brings. You like the discord that it brings. You like feeling guilty about it, or you like suffering from it because that's the only way you can feel as if it's justifiable. So you must reason it away. Okay. And you can even get very extreme on it if you're creative. It doesn't even have to be true. You're reasoning away. Oh, that might have been the next Jeffrey Dahmer. Good thing, that's how you do it. I just saved a bunch of people for being murdered in the future. It didn't even have to make sense. It didn't even have to be true. It just has to sound reasonable. Okay. Um, right. That's what it is. And you can find that in the Corpus Hermeticum. It tells you, and also in the Emerald Tablets. It talks about that. I think I have one of the quotes on my phone. What does it say? Hmm? Calm your mind so that no thought bothers you. Calm your mind so that no thought bothers you. Okay. This is when they weigh your heart in ancient Egypt on a scale with a feather and a heart. Okay. You must be light. You must be able to leave. Your density cannot be laden with guilt. So, yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. She. Think about why you did it. You saved them from. Yeah. So just don't live in that. Live in the positive side of it. hmm And know that there is no karma unless you want it. The soul chooses the womb, DNA, and data encoding in the blood, da 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 da, from lifetimes. This is annoying as it is. It's still defined. It's true, but they're not there until they are alive. Because even though it is choosing you, you are still the master of yourself until you create and you birth. You are still the master of yourself. So you are still able to make those decisions over that particular spirit because you are the same. Okay. So you have to understand that. Even if it's a divine spirit, so are you. You have say. You are still a divine spirit. If this divine spirit is not going to thrive in the environment that you're in at this moment, then that doesn't mean you're killing it because it's eternal. Okay. If it's an eternal spirit, it'll be back or it'll find someone else or it'll do this and that. It's not like if you understand that the flesh is just a space suit then you're able to understand that. You know, energy lasts forever. Okay. What is the best crystal for lifestyle you promote? Huh? I think some crystals work better for you based off your zodiac sign. Whatever you're focused on, use those crystals. I'm always being seduced and touched sexually in my dreams by men. Are they spirits? Um, it could just be your subconscious mind as well. You know, your masculine side trying to get in touch with your feminine side, trying to make you feel more feminine. There are no best crystals. Okay. Y'all are talking to each other. Only you can decide what's best for you. Exactly. Why do I get anxiety with thinking this body is just a machine? Because you're thinking too much. You're overthinking. Just enjoy the machine. What's your take on plastic surgery? If it's gonna help you, then get it. If it's, I don't know. I don't have any issue with it. Hmm. Right. Right. And like I said, I don't have anything against, what people choose to do with their bodies. It's your body. Do what you want. Um, mhm. How do you get over the fear of apprehension of change? Understand that all things change. And if you don't get over it, then, oh well, it doesn't care. All things change. Everything is change. If you're not changing, you're dead. No change is death. So that's probably going to be more worrisome than anything. Okay. Purple Rain. I know who Purple Rain is. It's not even a girl. But I'm gonna let him make it. I'm gonna let him make it. Mm. As souls are being recycled, how is human population growing? Are new souls being born, and how? At certain times, yeah, they can come back. Sure, when you say your other channel, you mean the makeup channel, right? Y'all, I don't like to mix. I don't like to exchange because there's some people over here that's not going to understand my other channels. Okay, and I'd rather keep them separate. But sometimes the um, the information it can be similar. So let's just keep it at that. Okay. It's because, yeah, my makeup channel. Mhm. It's because a lot of people have found my other channel and then they're appalled. It's like, look, I never said I was no love and light. I never said I was this or that. Okay, y'all were confused. Don't think I'm love and light because I am not. Only to my kids. Um, you're a witch. I'm God fearing. Well, then you fear me. I'm goddess. You fear other people that know who they are. I fear you because anyone who knows who they are has God energy. Okay, so fear me. I don't care. Mhm. What you should fear is not figuring out who you are, but that's okay. You're too busy looking without to look within. Um, exactly right. Don't be fearing us. We ain't after you. hmm That's another thing. You have a lot of people that fear God, but they're here learning from us. Okay, they're here learning until they find themselves, and that's okay. I'll let them live. You got to learn some way, because Mhm. I guess the Bible ain't enough these days. Got to come over here. Do you think every soul has lived before? Yes, I do. Mhm. Does soul disappear forever? Nope. Energy never dies. You never heard of that? Now, your consciousness might not be your consciousness anymore. It might just go back into the all, but it's your energy never dies. hmm Do you love me? Sure, why not? Mhm. Sure, what are you drinking on? It's a pecan maple latte with almond milk from Starbucks. I thought I'd switch up from the pumpkin spice today. This is way better. It's a caramel something. The other one they have for fall. It's caramel maple something. It's really good. hmm Yeah, the Bible does have some stuff to decode, and a lot of people do interpret it the wrong way. You are correct. Uh huh. Oh, I also got pumpkin spice. I mean, no, I also got coffee cake this morning. I eat, y'all. I be eating coffee cake. I eat one coffee cake until dinner time. I eat on this and this coffee. Then I eat dinner. Now, this is my breakfast and lunch with that coffee. I eat half for breakfast and the other half for lunch. Mm. Do you think there's a soul connection between mother and child? Yes, because you came out of her. You came through her. She's a portal. In order to get through a mother's portal, there has to be something there, a lesson, something that you need to learn from her. It could also be something that's going to make you into the person you are supposed to be, lead you to your purpose. So everybody has a soul connection. If you're a soul, you got a soul connection. Just like it's electricity. All electricity has a connection if it connects, right? So there's some parents. Okay, here's a good example of when this is how you can help or not help, but sometimes it really just doesn't matter. There's some parents that are bad parents, and through being a bad parent, you force your child to become a strong person or a weak person. Their lessons that they learn in life, they have choices. Do I take charge of my life or do I blame her? This is where the alchemy comes in. Are you going to be a victim or are you going to transmute? Okay. If in a former life you had a problem with this, you will say, well, if I'm going to go back into my human body, I really didn't get that transmutation thing last time, and I had a horrible life. So I really want to learn it this time. So please put me in a transmutable situation so that I can learn how to properly transmute the correct way. Because if I can't properly transmute, I'm not going to be balanced enough to get to where I want to get in the spiritual realm. So I need to go back on earth where I can practice transmutation. Now, okay, so that's why a lot of people come back to bad situations. Okay. But until that parent chooses for you to come through or not, it's still their choice first. Okay. How to cut that soul connection, transmute it away. Use this as a transmutation lesson. Well, her purpose was served. I learned how to transmute. Yay for me. Now I don't have to deal with that anymore. Thank goodness I learned. That's how you transmute. Transmuting is reasoning away any um, negative things. You take full responsibility. You don't play the victim. You don't say, well, why me? This is why my life sucks because I had bad parents, A, B, C, and D. You say, you know what? If I hadn't had bad parents, I wouldn't have been so um, ambitious in life. I wouldn't have been so in a hurry to get up out of there and so successful because, I didn't want to stay there with them. A, B, C, and D. So avoid all guilt, reason all guilt away, and find the positive. It's just like taking a negative situation and figuring out how to get paid from it. Okay, like Omarosa, do an Omarosa. She was in the White House, got fired, found a way to get paid. That is transmutation. Okay, she ain't mad at Donald Trump no more. She's counting her money. Okay, so just think about it like that. You're not mad at your mom no more. You counting your money. You're not mad at this person anymore. You're spiritually awakened now. So don't hold on to guilt or grudges. Use them as a platform to push you to the next level. Use them as a stepping stone. Okay. So don't hang on to that crap. It doesn't do anything beneficial for you unless you make your life beneficial. Okay. I just got my nails done. Okay. So transmutation is creating something out of something negative, something positive out of something negative. Sure, have you heard of Genesium? Uh-uh. Um, when you said he has no use for regrets in the movies, Thomas Conifer. Okay. Sure, I was raised in Christianity, but I like to learn about the occult. I'm trying to my last incarnation, make this your last incarnation. I'm sick of all these recycled lives. So any way I can find the truth in. Okay, well, you still have free will to come back if you want. So here's the thing. If you learn the occult, symbolism, universal law, you can create the exact life or a good life in future incarnations. You know what I mean? So, and if you don't want to come back, that's up to you. But if you could come back and create the life you wanted, you might want to come back a couple more times. Okay. Um, how do you transmute something that happened bad to your child when they were very young and innocent? Okay. That's a hard thing, but think of someone who's already been through it and have transmuted it. That's going to help you, like Oprah. Think about Oprah. Think about Tyler Perry. A lot of bad things happened to them when they were young and innocent, but look what they've become. They didn't let it hold them back, and they didn't let the guilt fester, you know. They built on it and they helped other people through it and they talked about it and they created a platform to where people would understand, what happened to them, but they didn't live in their victimhood. Instead, they chose to focus on doing better so that they wouldn't have to raise their children in it, or they wouldn't have to go through it again, or they wouldn't have to even um, be in the situation where they would have to deal with that person again. They got very successful to compensate what was taken from them, so use it like that. Even though it is bad thing, that's how you transmute it. Okay. Um, sure. How do you find your dark manifested group on Facebook? You can't find it. It's dark. You got to be personally invited. You got to write me, and I still haven't checked all of those messages. So I'll check them by this weekend. Write me on Facebook. Sure. Question about the way do you need to go to Saturn after we die besides free will? Why? What actually on Saturn? Oh, I'm making a book on how to die. Oh, I'm making a scrapbook on how to die. You want to see it? Hey, why not? Okay. They make scrapbooks for stupid stuff. Might as well make one about something good. So here's my death scrapbook. How to die. It says death is just a doorway to the heavens. And we have the Grim Reaper. And we have black. And we have the gold written. Then I have this. And it says, transform into your plasma, which is the fourth state of matter, your electrical being. And then I put, you are not supposed to be trapped in your human body. You are eternal. Your plasma body is like a butterfly. You're not meant to stay a caterpillar. Fly. Transformation. So I'm going into it this way. Then I talk about the dark plasma energy and what it is. I say dark plasma energy, you can travel through outer space or the heavens because plasma is an electric wave or current. And it's a frequency. It doesn't need air to travel. Okay. Your plasma is also consciousness. It can think. Examples of plasma: lightning, neon lights. Plasma energy. When plasma is activated with water, it speeds up. That's why a lot of people live next to water or in humid areas, or when they did the mummification process, they put the body in liquids and water. Okay. If you don't live in a humid area, yes, Jay-Z said, blind me, baby, with your neon lights, Ray-Bans on. Let's both take flight. If you go to heaven and they bring me to hell, sneak out and meet me, bring a box of L's. Yeah, I know that. Yes. And then on this page, it says, your true body is energy, plasma, electric bodies. The way to break through the ionosphere is balance. Okay. And also, you got to be activated with water. That's why on the movie Constantine, he had his feet in water. When he always had to be wet when he went to Helios or into the outer. Okay. Either be in a humid location. That's why the spaceships are by the water, because when they spray the rockets with melanin, the moisture from the ocean and all the humidity in Houston and Florida activates it to pierce the ionosphere. Okay. So you got to be wet. And you have to have a balanced charge. That means you can't be over masculine if you're feminine, and you can't be over feminine if you're masculine. You got to have a balanced charge. This is why this is very important. Okay. Um, Once your charge is balanced, when you pierce through the ionosphere, you're going to leave behind some of your negative charges, which is your feminine aspect, which is going to make you more masculine at that point, which is going to shoot you through the ionosphere super fast, like you know, like what happens with the man, and it's going to push you past the electromagnetic pull of the sun. Okay, so once you get pushed past because of all that masculine energy, um, yes, then you go replenish as you fly over Mars and collect the dust from Mars that flies up, to give you another negative charge, because dust is negative in charge, electrically. Um, like a feather, like a cat's fur. That's why in Constantine he had that cat on his lap. The middle ground, Ma'at uses a feather because it's an electromagnetic attraction. So your electric body, which is the fourth state of matter, after gas turns into electricity and electric current in the air, that's your soul. And it is consciousness. And it's still matter. It's still the fourth state of matter. So you're not completely 100% spiritual, because spiritual is a form of matter. The entire universe is made of matter, whether it's light or dark. Okay. So once you become this plasma electric current, you're able to travel the universe and fly. Okay. This is your permanent body that you've been in. I mean, it's not even a body, but this is your state that you've been in the longest and the most. You only come to Earth and experience this dimension in a physical body for only so long. Then you go back out. Okay. So, and the reason I have raindrops is because when it rains, plasma energy, other people's energy, other people's thoughts and consciousness comes back down through the rain, if it chooses to. Okay. That's why in that song, Sweet Dreams, Beautiful Nightmare, every night I rush to my bed, and she goes, um, uh, clouds filled with stars, and I hope it rains. You're the perfect lullaby. It can be a sweet dream or a beautiful nightmare. That's talking about the plasma that comes down, the information that comes down through the rain, the influence that comes down through the rain. And do y'all remember all the mirrors she had on that video and the aspect of three: body, mind, and spirit? And just as plasma goes up, it turns from solid, liquid, gas to plasma. It has to come back down in reverse. So it has to be plasma, which is like lightning. Then it has to be the gas, which is the cloud. Then it turns into the liquid, which is the rain. And then it gets on you, whatever, and then you absorb the energy, the consciousness. That's why on Stranger in Moscow, you got Michael Jackson walking in the rain and these people just walking in the rain and everybody's running from it. But they're woke, So most people run from the rain. Oh my God, I can't get wet, even though I take a shower every day. Oh, my goodness. Why do people run from the rain when I know people hair get messed up, but other than that. So that's why. Anyway, and you'll hear a lot of songs mention rain, like "You Could Stand Under My Umbrella," Illa Illa A. I can't stand the rain against my window. Missy Elliott, and then you'll have me, I'm dodging raindrops, meaning I'm on vacay, chilling on a big yacht. It's influence. Oh my God, I just asked about Stranger in Moscow. So Rain Man, who is Rain Man? The influence. So here's an example. If plasma is consciousness of people who have lived before, that have knowledge, and they want to influence you, or they want to help you, or they want to give you ideas, or they want to teach you something. That's what rain represents in the occult. So if you're going to yeah, rain and negative ions. And remember, if it's conscious energy and it comes in the form of rain, and rain is water, and when it meets your body, it's activated. The same an electrical charge to your DNA and your brain. Just the way as it leaves the earth and it's activated to shoot out. Okay? So just remember. hmm Um, yeah, a lot of songs about rain. Go listen to them. Just type in rain on YouTube. A bunch of songs about rain will pop up. Even mirrors. Okay, we'll get into the mirror stuff later, but the rain is how the consciousness also communicates. And in alchemy, the morning dew is very spiritual. Some people even drink it as an elixir of life and consciousness. Um, so don't go around drinking rain because there's pollution and stuff now. But um, for it to activate, if it touches your skin, I think it's okay. Okay. Go play in the rain. On the video Stranger in Moscow, it was showing how kids are not afraid of the rain and how they just play in it and run in it and just want to be in it. They don't care. Then it shows how adults run from it and shelter themselves from it. And you're seeing the comparison of the consciousness and the programming as adults get older. Okay. You can see how the adults who were just living day-to-day life were just so bored and blah. And then when it started raining, it's like something clicked and they went outside. Yes. Uh-huh. What about drinking water left out? I think if you have a lid on it, and the moon, you got to learn about the moon, okay? Like if you're going to be in this knowledge, you really got to learn about the moon. It's not what you think it is. I know some people have gotten so attached to the moon, but you really need to go study because it's not what you think it is. Okay? Don't get too attached to the moon. I mean, it's beautiful. It has its purpose, but it's not what you think it is. Right. It's more of a satellite to Earth to keep you under certain emotional imbalance. Okay. Remember the moon controls certain things. And if it wasn't there, you would be more in control of those things. Okay. hmm Right. Yeah. You would be more in control of your emotions if the moon was not where it is. Be easier for some of you guys. Hmm. Right. Do you remember? Okay. Do y'all remember the stupid argument when a long time ago? Men will argue this. Well, a long time ago, women didn't have menses every month and A, B, C, and D. It's because the moon was brought here. Okay. Um, it's not because something was wrong with you, and which a lot of men will make you feel like, oh, back in the old days, they didn't have this, or you're not supposed to have it. If you're very highly spiritual and you vibrate on a certain level, or you don't eat enough and you about to die and starve to death, yeah, you may not have one. But the moon controls the cycles. And long ago, those cycles were different because the moon was not where it is. The earth did not have that moon always. Okay. Hmm. So through the moon, you're getting cycles, you're getting time as well. You're getting months, you're getting tides, you're getting 4 seasons. There only used to be 2 seasons, winter and summer. So you're getting more influence, time. You're getting more time, uh, and more cycles. Because if you're not, okay, think about this. If there were no months, if there was no moon, how would you measure a month? Think. All is mental. So if there's no moon, there's no month. There's only seasons, winter and summer. So if you have months, you're conscious of time. You're conscious of time. You're creating time if you have a moon, because moon creates months. Months create weeks. Weeks create days. Days create hours. Hours create minutes. Minutes create seconds, and on and on and on. You're counting. Hmm. So with no moon, you could either have summer or winter. You're not really counting. You only notice things when the weather changes. So time ceases to exist as much as it does when you have a moon. That's why some people who no longer really acknowledge the moon, they kind of live outside of time a little bit. You know, they don't really live within that realm of time. Um, why is this topic on the spiritual channel? Oh, because we were talking about the law of gender and universal law, and we were talking about how being more feminine is the most powerful thing you can be. Um, so embrace your femininity. We're talking about the moon because remember the moon also represents women as well. Hmm. Um, and why does the moon represent women? Just let's think about this, and also the subconscious mind, because it controls women, and it controls the subconscious mind and the emotions. So um, instead of it being a feminine aspect, it controls the woman. Without the moon, the woman is more powerful. Okay. Oh, remember, you've been tricked. Okay. So imagine your life without the moon. Imagine yourself being more balanced and able to control those emotions. Imagine yourself not being ruled by time. Imagine yourself not being ruled by a cycle, but still fertile. Okay. Think about it. The moon, you were worshiping it because you were told that it was the feminine aspect. And even I thought that until I started reading about it more. But the moon is keeping you from being as powerful as you could. If you no longer acknowledge it and transmute the energy of it, you'll be more powerful. Even though you're still going to be physically affected by it, it's still, you don't have to be mentally affected by it. Okay. Um, yeah, I have a book on the moon. It's fascinating. How do we become more powerful without the moon? When our, yeah, that's what I said. You can become more powerful mentally. Now, physically, you know, there's medications to stop all that kind of stuff if you want, but it doesn't matter if your mental is all. Okay, you don't let that affect your thinking. Um, hmm Okay, we only see one side of it. That is itself makes it not trusted. Yeah, the dark side of the moon. Exactly right. What's on the other side? Yeah, the moon affects the weather too. It said that if we didn't have the moon, we wouldn't have all these hurricanes or these floods if there was no moon. Think about it. No floods, no hurricanes, just thunderstorms, just the rain. That's all we need is some rain and some wind every now and then. You know, there wouldn't be all that kind of stuff. That's the moon. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, oh gosh, I forgot to do something today. When was there no moon? It's written in a lot of ancient texts and stories from the old days. Um, go back to ancient Sumeria, go back to ancient Egypt, go back to the Dogon, go back to all those before there was a moon. Um, the universe did not do this to us. The moon was strategically placed in a certain place by certain energies. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So everything is so smart. It's like a lie, right? Can you explain rain at a funeral? It just rained that day. Right. The plasma comes down in every rain, any rain it chooses to. It may be ancestors come to the funeral. Who knows? The ones that know what to do, you know. Maybe it could also be stuff coming to get you too. Like, hey, follow us. I mean, that's what I would do for my kids. Make it rain. Those, not literal, not with money. I mean, seriously, if I were conscious plasma and my kids or my child passed away and was transitioning, I would make it rain. Whatever day that they were either cremated or buried or whatever, but better to be cremated these days or buried and not embalmed. Okay. Um, what if they bomb the moon? Oh my god, it's hollow. Craters didn't fill on it so many times. Mhm. Do you think the moon is conscious? No. I think it's. I don't think it is. There's no atmosphere on it, and it's hollow. Hi, kitty. Hmm. Are those gold sparkly lights? Some people see plasma as well. You know how you see the what do you call those things? The orbs? That's plasma. You know how on the ghost hunting shows they show like electricity being sucked from batteries and cameras and like orbs and stuff, and they video. That's the plasma drawing more energy to strengthen itself. Okay. Uh, and they're studying plasma. They're studying plasma energy. And I already said in my lifetime, they're going to scientifically prove that spirits exist. That's why they're studying Saturn, and that's why CERN is trying to create the God particle. And that's why they're doing experiments trying to create um, these light energies. I think one of them is called Dun. They're trying to do some experiment where they're creating this light energy that can travel around the world and penetrate through things as a consciousness, a way to, we'll get into that later, but it's basically how to create conscious plasma. So, if we see we are God, right? Yeah. So here's my thing. They're trying to prove it exists. They're trying to prove that plasma energy is conscious energy. And they're trying to prove that there is a God particle, which they already have. So a God particle would basically be something that can create, okay, from itself. Okay. The moon linked to Saturn and other energy. Saturn puts out a, a frequency or a wave of plasma, okay, which is consciousness. So Saturn puts out consciousness, and on the way to Earth, the moon intercepts it. Okay. Then, yes, the moon intercepts that plasma that's from Saturn. And that's what happens. So, for example, if the moon wasn't there, those waves and the plasma from Saturn, because Saturn represents time, would be, mm, I don't know if it's affected or if the message is changed or what, but it said that Earth used to be one of Saturn's moons, and Saturn was basically our sun, like our sun. So, do you remember in the old days how they used to say people used to live to be like 200 and 300 and stuff like that? It's because we weren't under the moon, nor were we this close to the Helios sun, the sun in the sky that we see every day. The further we are from the sun, the longer our years are. You know what I mean? So that's why people were living to be like 300 and stuff like that, because they weren't this close to the sun. Time was different as you go further out. So now with the moon, it speeds up our Earth time even more. It helps the souls get recycled faster. Okay. So if the moon wasn't there, our perception of time would be a lot different, because all is mental. So that's what it does. They're not working together. It's actually a filter, right? hmm It's it's a purpose to keep you, yeah, from evolving and constantly recycling with no knowledge. Because see, but the plasma comes through the rain. That's why they tell you, oh, you got to get out the rain. Oh, don't do this. Oh, it also comes in many different ways too, but it also comes through frequency. So if you know what the moon is and you rise above that frequency mentally and spiritually, you can start getting that information that's being pushed in through the plasma coming from Saturn. Um, because once you know something, you vibrate higher than what you once thought about it. It no longer affects you. Okay. So let's just say think about something you didn't know before and now you know it. And it doesn't even affect your life anymore because you know more about it. Think of how different you lived before you knew one thing. And then once you learned it, you no longer even acknowledge it anymore. That's the same thing. Oh, okay. I got to go in a second. So once you know what the moon really is, then, and you no longer acknowledge it and do rituals to it and praise it and do all that kind of stuff, you rise above that certain time and you age slower. You start to get certain messages or enlightenment from, you're not filtering it through the moon anymore because mentally you have put the moon where it's supposed to be, as a something that's not beneficial to you. So you don't work with it and you don't acknowledge it anymore. I know some people love the moon, but see, just as Christians have to unlearn, there's still a lot of things that we are going to have to unlearn. We thought we were on the right path. We were on the right path. That's what led us to this information. And through worshiping in the moon, through doing rituals to the moon, A, B, C, and D, learn about the moon as well. Once you start really learning about the moon in the scientific aspect as well as the ancient aspect, you'll start to see. And once you stop working with it, you'll see a big difference in your ability to control emotion, in your aging, in your ability to channel or receive information. Your DNA totally changes. Why? Because you're not being filtered by the moon anymore. You're not being controlled by it anymore. Even though your body is, your spirit and your mind are not. Okay. As long as you're a part of the earth and within the, all of that, yes, your physical body will be affected by the moon, but nothing else. Because if you know something, you can prevent it, control it, and be the cause for the effect that you want. So you're using alchemy. Okay, I gotta go, y'all. But I have a whole other video where I talked all about the moon. If you go back a couple of videos on my channel page. So I know people love the moon. It's pretty, but know what it is and escape its escape its effects on you as much as possible. You can still say, oh my God, the moon is so beautiful tonight. But remember what it is. Okay. It's just like knowing something, but knowing that it's not what you thought it was. You see everything in a whole different way. You make decisions in a whole different way. You go about life in a whole different way. And okay, so just think about it. Go research it. Don't take my word for it. Just go research it. Because it's better if you find it yourself. That way you truly know and you can control how you think about it. You can still eat moon pies. Don't matter. Okay? Eat your moon pies. Look at the moon. Say it's pretty. But that's all it is. Okay? I think about the astrology before the moon. Okay. If you're Cancer and you're linked to the moon, think about what the feminine aspect was before Cancer was, or before it was the moon. What also did it represent? Okay. Hmm. He he he. Since there's no beginning or end, does that mean there's no creator? Um, no, it just means there's no beginning or end. Uh, there's a multiverse. There's not just one universe. There's a multiverse. Mm, Remember, time doesn't exist, so there can't be an end, because then that would mean time. Hmm. You find things so hard to understand. Well, get that elixir, girl. That elixir will help you. It's up now. It should be, unless it's already sold out. I need to go check. Um, on Dark Realm on my Etsy store. The moon video, just go to my channel page on YouTube, click on videos, then in the search bar, type in moon. Any video with the word moon in it that I made will pop up. Yes. I think it was like a couple of months ago that I did it, maybe 1 or 2 months ago. See, the elixir makes you feel calm, right? And if the moon wasn't there, you'd feel calm as well, more calm. They said, because I was studying this, and a lot of people say that if the moon wasn't there, people would suffer less anxiety, and bipolarism. There would be less mental illness. hmm So don't work with the moon if you're mentally ill. You're just making it worse. All right. Work with something else if you want to. Work with the days of the week. Work with some type of deity. I don't know. Work with something else. Okay. hmm Yeah, think of the moon like the moon wants to be, the moon is like a mini Saturn, but closer. Okay. The moon wants to be a reaper. A lot of people die during a full moon, and a lot of people are born. So it wants to be like Saturn, but it's not. So if it wasn't there, we would live longer, I think, and we would age slower, and we would be less emotional and more conscious, less mentally ill. So stop working with the moon. All right. Bye.